welcome everybody to the first of many form podcasts. I aim to be bringing to the masses. Everyone who knows me, I'm an avid form hunter. That's the title of this YouTube channel. I'm going to try and find some winners for you every week, be it in New Zealand or Australia. Of course, I do hours of form in both New Zealand and Australia, and we send lots of our standard bred horses over there, and they're very successful over there. So I do keep tabs on all those ones that get sent over, and usually a few of them are ready to go fresh up, or they might need a few runs, and then they'll be winning over there against those weaker horses. But yeah, so welcome in. Excited to get this sort of underway. Excited to start posting on the YouTube channel and hopefully find you guys some winners. And we've got a big weekend. Well, I wouldn't say big weekend, but we've got a big weekend this weekend. We've got Cambridge and Addington with some group racing. And tomorrow night at Cambridge, we've got a Group 2 Trotters and Pacers Miles. We've got in the Trotters, we've got Muscle Mountain and Bolt for Brilliance. It'll be an interesting fixture there. And we've got Cranbourne, Spankham, South Coast Arden going head-to-head in that Pacers Mile. Then we go down to Addington on the Friday night, and there's a 2-year-old Trotters Group 3. Unsure about who's going to be winning that race exactly. Those 2-year-olds are pretty hard to get a gauge on, as they're very fresh to racing. Then there's a 2-year-old Pacers Group 2, where we've got the Don't Stop Dreaming Purdon horse, where it's undefeated. Unfortunately, Olivia Thornley's been kicked off doesn't get the drive. She's been with him for his first 2 wins. So yeah, unfortunately, she jumps off, and guess who hops on? The man, the myth, the legend, Mark Purdon. So, you're not losing any quality there with Mark Purdon jumping on the bike. He's certainly going to be hard to beat. Then we go down to the 50K listed race for the 3-year-olds, Colts and Geldings, where, of course, we've got an exciting race, probably one of my favorite races on Friday night. We've got Sandwave trekking up from the deep south with the Nathan Williamson stable, and we'll be coming to try and, get some black type, get some credentials on Addington Raceway. So we've got a lot to look forward to. And of course, we're just going to start off by breaking down some of the form for tomorrow night at Waikato. I've only got 3 picks for there tomorrow night. Of course, pretty limited racing with just a flying mile. There's not too many good supporting races, but I do not mind Emma Frost, the Monkey Bones Grey Mare. The 6-year-old girl, she's had 57 starts, 5 wins, 9 seconds, 10 placings. She's $4 out to $4.20. We've got Crystal Hackett on board. I think she's been going very well in the junior driving ranks. She's more than confident, and off the 10 meters, last start was very good. And of course, we've got Mystic Max in here. Mark Purdon jumps on for Michael Purdon, $1.65, very, very short over the 2,700 meters. He's probably going to have a lot of time to, work his way into the race and make a mid-race move, get to the front, and probably will be too hard to beat. But I'm just looking forward to playing the Emma Frost there with the $4.20 on offer. Look, she's a strong mare. She gets things done. She's got a good gait. She's pretty, once she finds the top, she steps, she can find the top. She'll be pretty hard to get past. We will just pick up her last start, where I thought she was just hard done by. A failing runner came back on her. And it's all about momentum and harness racing. If you can get that right run, you can sort of control, you can sort of get around people and, hit the line strongly. So the Flying Spur was the race winner in this one. We'll just mute the audio, sorry, and we'll bring this race up. This is the stand. You can see Emma Frost, the grey there. She's pretty much the quickest away. There's unfortunately one insider who stepped like an absolute rocket, and that was Romeo Foxtrot, and he's absolutely nil. And Emma Frost will hopefully be able to get to the front over the 2,700 meters and stay there. Now she enjoys a nice cushy run on. The leaders back throughout until we get to the last lap. And of course, the battler Romeo Foxtrot starts to go back on us with about 600 meters left to go. And we start going backwards. A Flying Spur's off and gone, and the rest of the runners go around us, and there's not much you can do, unfortunately. You can't just pull out in front, and that'll cause a crash. Finally gets out with about 400 meters left to go, And Emma Frost just picks up the bit and is basically just looking for a run, finally gets a bit of space, has to come very wide on the track and descends beautifully and hits the line strongly. I think the 2,700 meters is a very good tick for her. As we can see on the course, she's got 3 starts for 2 placings. Distance isn't an issue. She's won 3 times over it and placed 11 times. So I think she steps. $4.20 becomes more like a $2.80, $2.50, I'd almost say, if she can find the front. And then she's your options to hand up to Mystic Max, who will no doubt be making a mid-race move. We can be on the back of Mystic Max as we turn for home, and I give Crystal Hackett a great chance to come up that passing lane or work off the shoulder, and might be just a 2-horse war. We do have Kelvin's Lux, James Stormont. He's been going good lately. He's a big, strong chestnut gelding out of Peak, so he's a bit of danger there, but the 30-meter handicap doesn't help his chances. And yeah, so just pretty keen to take him on Emma Frost. Then we move on to the first of the flying miles, and it's the trotting race, and it's a race of 5 horses. Slightly disappointing, but after Sunday's Sun just, absolutely demolished them a couple of weeks ago up in Auckland, yeah, I'm not surprised he's missed that and is having a well-deserved rest. Now we've got the mile race here, Group 2, Muscle Mountain, drawn inside Bolt for Brilliance. Surprisingly, $2.70 into $2.50 early doors. Tony Hiller, he's usually got some, he's got a lot of supporters and they will back plenty. But the $1.40 is a shortish quote here, and I think Muscle Mountain will probably go onto the top and roll forward and win. I think Bolt for Brilliance will get very close on the line. It's going to be a very tactical race, and I just wouldn't be betting on that one at all, really. There's 5-horse war. Yeah, this you can just leave me out, but it's definitely a great spectacle to watch. Then the very next race, we've got Cranbourne, Hot and Treacherous, Kango, AG's White Sox, Mac Dan, South Coast Arden, Spankham. Absolutely riveting stuff here. The flying mile for the paces. We've got Hot and Treacherous, who can leave the arm very quickly. Kango can leave. Cranbourne can leave. AG's White Sox can leave. South Coast Arden can absolutely fly the arm. So we've got a whole bunch of people who can go forward, horses that can go forward. And I think it will just be about getting in the right spot early doors and staying there. And I think Cranbourne is the good value of the day, $7.50 into $6 and $1.90 after scratchings. That $2 place price has come in a lot. I think it was $2.10 initially or something, $2.30, and now it's into $1.90. I think Cranbourne leads, hands up, Hot and Treacherous hands up to it. Cranbourne just will keep rolling them along down the back, and I think On Speed will be the place to be. We do have the danger of Mark Purdon on Spankham. That'll probably get a nice 1-1, 1-2 cart into the race, and it's got that sit sprint ability, and it's 4 Group 1s, 4-time Group 1 winner over the mile. So, of course, $4 into $3.50, you've got to respect it. South Coast Arden drifted into $3.20 now, back in, so there's a bit of confidence there, and Cranbourne's had a bit of backing, and Hot and Treacherous off the ace. You can never go wrong with backing the ace in those mile races. So that's Cambridge wrapped up on the Thursday. Exciting stuff. We'll just move on now to the Friday night, where I've got one of the bets of the week, and that is Bubba Scrub, race 1, Bubba Scrub, number 4. We're going to pick him up here on the Zoom here. Hopefully the video pops up for you guys. Last start against Van Liberty down south was held up and was a great run, I thought, and has been going very good in all sorts of races all across the South Island, and I think he finds himself into a very winnable race on Friday night. We can see him in the score up, barrier number 10, back row at Ascot Park. It's always a bit of a handicap being there. It's a short sort of course. You want to be on that front row, going forward, dictating speed, not being on the back of the leader in the back row and, having to wait for gaps. So the Edge Bull ITM Mobile lets him go, follows forward Van Liberty, the eventual race winner. Bit of nifty driving there from Blair, works around and gets the top. Then we're 3-4 back the pegs now with a few outside us, so we're going to need a lot of luck. Somehow Kirsten Barklow, or is that Tim Williams, manages to work his way off the pegs. Van Liberty stacks them up, and it's just a Blair Orange special. So on speed, the place to be. They dashed home in about 60 seconds, I think it was. So they weren't breaking any records. They were home in 29 and 2 in the last 400. So that's very slow going. And you can see Bubba Scrub here as we turn for home. Manages to work its way off the pegs into the 1-1, but is boxed in. And Robbie Close does well here. He finds a little bit of a gap on the outside of McAndrew Navigator, manages to slip through that gap and then cuts down to the inside. Robbie does his best to rack it up on the inner. And, you know, forward straight boxes on the outside, and Bubba Scrub is savaging the line late. And, you know, I think if he can lead off the arm, he showed he's got great mobile speed. We'll just show that quickly because I was on him the other week when he came third to Better Be Sharp, but this was barrier 8. He finally draws inside. Barrier number 4 on the pegs is the place to be at Addington. You don't want to be wide out in the arm unless you're an absolute superstar. We pick them up down the back here over the 1980. Bubba Scrub wide out in the arm there. You can see the goose is lighting him up. Blair Orange goes forward and he's 1, 2, 3, 4 wide down the back here, and eventually gets to the top. And I think it was a very quick 24-second first quarter, or 24.5 first quarter off the arm. So very quick early doors. And then he sort of tried to get a bit of a breather on the favorite. Better Be Sharp rolls around, and that's just a rolling type. And we'd just burned too many candles at the start. After we enjoyed a beautiful run on the leader's back, we just lacked a little bit of end speed, and we sort of boxed on for a game third just to cling on. But I think to Friday night is his night. I think it's one of the better bets of the weekend, and Bubba Scrub should be winning if I know my shiz. So lock him in. Bubba Scrub, race 1. I think he might be a bit short. I'm hoping for maybe $2, $2.30. I think you can shop that all day. Hopefully they're not too stingy and they open up at $1.60 or something. I'd hate for that to happen. But he's been knocking on the door, and I think the tab bookies would be silly to let him go at anything more than about $2, $2.30. Moving on, we've got race number 2, Harold Smith. Now, this is a very interesting race. We've got a 2,600 meter stand. Nathan Williamson gets the drive for Tom Baggery. It's a pretty interesting looking race. We've got a lot of talented horses, and we pick up the Stipes comments here. It was held up leaving the final bid in the early run home. When questioned regarding the tactics opted by Blair Orange, he explained that due to the fast tempo of the race through the early stages, he elected not to shift wider on the track until near the 600 meters. We had attempted to flush runners outward, and it's sort of, if you just read all that, pause and read it if you want. I don't need to be reiterating information you can read. You can pause it and have a look. He just, never got a run, and things didn't go his way, and that can happen in the harness game. So we'll bring up this run and the run home. So Harold Smith, there he is out the back of the group, and at Addington you can't win from there, especially on these trotting races. And I think he actually ran very well, and you can see him blistering home late, and with any luck tomorrow on Friday night he will be a great top 3 chance. Then we go to race number 3, which is the 2-year-old Trotters Group 3. And I think, sorry, we'll just bring this up. We've got Crackling, who's been scratched actually, and High Energy, who's the Mark Purden Hayden Gallen horse. And we can watch its last start win, and I think it was a very nice one, and it's indicating it's going to be a good horse. It was a pretty weak race, to be honest. There wasn't too much in here, but there was a few of the ones it's going to be facing tomorrow on Friday night. And you can see it just sort of eases back off the arm and never really gets tested early doors, and is saved to 1 run. And that 1 run was absolutely breathtaking, and it just picked them up. As we try and pick it up here in the last 600, here it is. We're moving 3 wide on the track up here. And, they don't really win like that too often all the way down the outside. So I think it's a good horse moving forward. Aroha Kenny, that was a solid enough run in behind the winner. But I don't think Aroha Kenny's in here tomorrow night or Friday night. I keep saying tomorrow night. It's not tomorrow night. Tomorrow's Thursday. And yeah, I don't know if you'd want to be investing too much into those 2-year-old trotting races. A few of them are very ill-mannered. And, you know, there's just probably not enough form there to dissect. Then we go to race number 4, ShanNoble. He is the second best bet of the night there. And all we have to do really is hit play, because this is a superb run. And if he doesn't win on Friday night, I'll be scratching my head severely, as this was an exceptional run. Blistering sectionals. Gets out of the early speed, works his way into the running line. And down the back straight, you're thinking, ooh, don't know. But the pace has been on. It might be hard to come from back there. But he's 3 wide, 4 wide at the top of the straight. And he just absolutely hits his hopples and just picks up the bit and is absolutely storming down the outside. Darling Me, the eventual winner, had it gifted to it on a plate. Had it been maybe about 30 meters more, she would have lost. And ShanNoble would have won. So they've ran home in about 55 seconds or 56 or whatever it was. 56-1 last 800, 27-8 in the last quarter. And I think you can definitely be getting on ShanNoble. It's definitely one that I will be looking to get amongst. And then we go to our next pick. Race number 5, Republican Party. Look, I haven't tipped it out just because it's an interesting race. I think it's definitely the best horse in the race, but he gets a similar draw, and he's going to have to work forward and be the best horse in the race, and might have to sit parked again. So it's an interesting one, but he probably will come definitely top 2, definitely a top 2 bet, but should be winning, should definitely be winning. I think you can take the shorts around him, but I'm not tipping it out. Then we'll go down to Sandwaves race number 8, where we have, we will go to the 2-year-olds, the pacing 2-year-olds race, where we've got the undefeated Don't Stop Dreaming. We've got Final Collect down the inside. Natalie's driving that. Vinky B with style. Commander Ben's in there for Katie Cox. That's good to see. We've got Robbie Holmes with the gelding on debut. And we've got a Rhoda, who's for Darren Keasts. So, yeah, it's a very interesting race. I think Don't Stop Dreaming will just be handed the chocolates again, and will keep on his winning way. So, yeah, we do want to move on to race number 8. We've got an interesting fixture. We've got Cyrus, who's got that obviously great well, actually, I thought he did. That's right. He did run a second in behind Old Town Road. We're just going to bring up that because that's a run home in 55-6. I don't think he was too close in the end. He might have got handy enough, but I think Cyrus down on the inside leaves very fast. Old Town Road leaves the better, and he just gets a perfect card on that leader's back. And Old Town Road is a very progressive horse, and I think one to watch in the future. And Cyrus just enjoyed a beautiful run on the Old Town Road's back, and up the passing lane. He was out dash for speed, but Cyrus did stuck to his task quite nicely. And you can see just in the concluding stages, Old Town Road switches off, and Cyrus is pretty good to the line. Now, Cyrus had a couple more seconds after that race. We'll bring up his most recent workout, which is up in mid-Canterbury. And we'll just see how he goes there. Very much not tested, just a bit of a fitness duel as it was sent forward and found the top, and basically just jogged along, clicked it up down the back. And when it came to the straight, wasn't asked for much. And I think Olivia Thornley's doing the driving there and having her arms pulled off. He wanted to go faster, but she wouldn't let him. And that was a very, very easy win. He's absolutely jogging at the line. So Cyrus looks pretty race ready to me. It'll be interesting to see what happens in that race. We'll just bring up the market for that one, as I haven't had a look at it for maybe a few hours. It might have changed. We need to go to Friday, harness, Addington, race 8. We've got Lockhart Shard at $51, continuing to drift. We've got invitation only. It was a very nice winner last start. Mitzi Ganor was the second in behind it, and that came out and won its next start. Cyrus at $3.80 on a slight drift. Can't find a better man on the drift. I need Mickey on the drift. Sandwave getting smacked in, $2.50 into $2.10. And I think it is the best horse on paper. However, we all know what Addington's like, and if you can find the pegs and potentially dictate the speed, and Mark Purdon is an absolute wizard, he might be able to just get it done on Cyrus. I think he will go forward, find the pegs. Sandwave's going to have to try and land the 1-1. He might use his gate speed early, but we will see. It'll be an interesting race. I'd like to see Sandwave win, but I am very, very wary about Cyrus and Mark Purdon. Then we go to race 10, where we have the Black Booker, and we have the last start winner, Mitzi Ganor. Very interesting race, but we are over the 2,600 meters, where I think this will very much appreciate Ariella. Now we're just going to pick up this last start run. She had a bit of a spell, and this was in behind Love Struck. Okay, she's a very progressive type, Love Struck, and she won this very nicely. And we've got a couple of good horses in here. We've got the Rage, who looks handy enough, the Coleman, who was a good winner breaking maidens, and Ariella, who I thought was very good last start and just never got any chance. You can see Maddie pushes the button here, just can't go with them at early doors, and he sort of half-heartedly goes out, and then he's in a world of trouble here as the running line is formed and he's trying to slot in. Luckily, the Terrifier and Ricky May go to the inside and he can just slot in there. But once you go backwards at Addington, I'm sorry, but you've got to be a very, very good horse to win the race. But we can see Ariella never gives up, and in the run home here, it is last, really, as they turn for home. Ariella is out the back there in the purple and white stripes. She gets a bit of a gap here in the inside of Coleman and the Terrifier, and Maddie's having a bit of a steering issue there. She sort of tries to run a bit wider on the track. Maddie tries to steer her into the clear here, and she's absolutely bolting. All these leaders at the front are flat to the boards. The Rage has got something to offer. Ariella is flying, and now he has to pull up. There's absolutely no room there, and Ariella was very strong to the line. So you got to watch the Rage and Ariella in that last race. They might provide a bit of cheek. You might get a nice price around Ariella, and over the 2,600 meters, if she can hit the hopples like that near the end of her race, I think she might be a very good top 3 or 4 chance. And then we have Mitzi Ganor, who won like a good horse, really. Carter Dalgetty was an absolute clinic drive, led, dictated, kicked away at the top of the straight, and was absolutely cruising. We'll pick them up off the mobile just to see that good gate speed it's got. Mitzi Ganor just gets out of the gate. Not the quickest I've ever seen, but comfortably clears the Shady Ruler on the inside. And from there, it's game over, really. Once you get a horse like that who's dictating, you can hand up to Swaggerman, let that do all the work. Then it comes up the Captain Crunch passing lane, and Carter Dalgetty asks for a little bit, and he gets a lot more than a little bit. It surges away. She sort of knocks off here as Carter doesn't really give her too many reminders. Silk runs up on the outside, but Carter's confidently holding the fort down, and she wins like a good horse. So I think you can play around Mitzi Ganor and Ariella and the Rage. Maybe even a slight trifecta. That would tickle the solar plexus if you could land that. Then we move on to Saturday, which is down in dirty old Winton, where we've only got 3 investments to look at. And race number 4 is our roughie of the day. We're going to pick it up as Rock and Roll Lover, Nathan Williamson and Brian Norman combined. Good combination. Nathan Williamson loves driving a winner for Brian Norman. And we've got a very, very weak maiden 2-year-old or older, 2-year-old and older, 40 to 46 rated mile race. And now we've got Rock and Roll Lover here, who showed a bit. It has showed a bit. And over the mile here against Benji is where I'm going to bring it up. 156.1 mile rate, 58.6 home. Barrier number 6, from memory, it rocketed the arm and got to the front or near on. So we're just going to have a look here as we pick it up from barrier number 6. Ball ITM mobile arm lets him go. Yep, Rock and Roll Lover comes out for a look-see. And you would assume from barrier number 1, nobody is going to be crossing that thing. Sarah O'Reilly racks it up and it goes forward on a blinding mission, and it's 3 wide. Manages to slot into the 1-1 there and gets a cushy run 3 back in the running one. As you see into the last sort of 600, 400. Yep, blocking in 400. There's the sign. You can see it peeling out of the 1-1, 3 wide, and Sarah O'Reilly's giving it a few reminders. It comes out to the middle of the track, and you think it's home, really. You think it's home there. But on the outside comes Mark Harrell revving up. Did she do it? And then on the inside, Benji. So it's a nose finish there, or a half head, or whatever you want to call it. And Rock and Roll Lover has got the ability to run the miles, and you'd think it did. If it can run up to that level, it should be winning that race. It'll be down on the inside. No one will be able to cross it. Should be able to dictate the speed. Nathan Williamson, superb driver. That's just a combo you want to get amongst. Roma. That's one horse has been knocking on the door. It'll probably come out for a look. And honestly, wouldn't even be mad if they handed up to Roma, but anyone else, I don't think they will. Roma seems to have a good engine. It'll just keep rolling, and it'll definitely should get us to the straight, and then we can zip up the passing lane. But we've got options from barrier number 1, Nathan Williamson driving, Brian Norman, the trainer, Rock and Roll Lover, the roughie of the day. It's been a bit of a patchy form line. I'm hoping the bookies, it might slip under the radar and we can get a juicy quote. So be ready on Friday afternoon at 4 p.m. when the odds come out. Rock and Roll Lover, the roughie of the day. Very, very keen on it. And hopefully the boys send it on a big plunge and we get the chocolates. That would be ideal. Then we go down to race 8. Hurricane Hendrix, another Nathan Williamson runner. Now, this horse has been a bag of tricks, really. It's raced some good horses, and you can see last start it raced against Beach Bull, who won some slick times. And then before that, barrier 12 just sort of never got its chances. And then you can see Matt Major came third and behind that. So it's got some good form. It's a very lightly raced 3-year-old black gelding by Rock and Roll Heaven. And I think it should just be able to lead for fun. And even if it doesn't, honestly, I think it's just the best horse in the race. Barrier number 4, it can slot into the running line. It's got options. It's got 2,400 meters to figure it out. I think it will be winning, and it looks like one of the better bets on the program. So Nathan Williamson should be getting that home. But we do move to the last race where we have the best bet of the day. Now we look through this field. We've got Dunedin Hurricane, who's now trained by Graham Anderson and Mike Love. We've got Sagwitch. We've got Simply Delicious. We've got Carrera Dance, who's been a great horse for Tony Stevens. Brent Barclay gets to drive again. It's been going some great races on some good horses. We've got Wolfenstein in here. I thought was very lucky last start. You could probably have a little each way on him. We've got Livy Desma, who was a last start winner in a very good fashion, actually, but it does have limited gate speed. And I think American Airtime, the way it won last start, they ran home in 55.8. We're just going to watch this replay from start to finish. Well, I might skip through a bit, otherwise it might be a bit boring, but American Airtime, here we are. We pick it up, and it's galloping from barrier number 3. It's not happy to be there, and it goes into a wild gallop, gets down and pacing, and it's missed it by about 50 meters, and it's about 8 lengths behind them, finally picks them up. Whoever goes to the front, which is Pay Me Speedy, just manages to slow it down. Boarding Cool goes up into the breeze. We land the 1-1. We get a nice cozy trip in transit. We can peel at the top of the straight, actually before the straight, commenced our run, and look at it hit the hopples. That is what you want to see. That horse is ready to win some races, and it's absolutely savaging down the center of track. And Pay Me Speedy, that is a great run, but it did have the inside rail and dictated the speed. But American Airtime, that was a cruisy win, and 55 home. It was ready to go. So I think if it can not gallop, touch wood, but that is the scariness with shopping around the American Airtime. You've seen it gallop in the score up, so it'll be cross your fingers and toes as it scores up, and Mark Harrell and Craig Ferguson should combine and win that last race for one of the better bets on the program. We do have a little bit of concern around Carrera Dance. It's a good horse, and I think Wolfenstein was a bit unlucky, and Livy Desma off the inside could be a bit of a threat. So maybe first for those. But yeah, I think so. We've got American Airtime, Hurricane Hendrix, and the Ruffy Rock and Roll Lover. And we move on to Sunday, where we have a look at a little short, I think 9-race meeting. And there's a couple of bets actually here that I don't mind. There's a few mile races going around at Ashburton on the Sunday, so it will be entertaining. And we're going to have a look at race number 4, William G's Legacy. I think he could be the good each way bet of the day. Stephen McNally looks to have himself a good horse. I tipped him out to a few lads the other day, and he ran 3rd on his debut. He trialled up beautifully, ran home 56.8, and sort of didn't have any luck. Then he goes out the next week behind the Coleman, and he runs a solid 5th, another quick 56.5 home. Didn't get all chances, sort of just a bit unlucky. And we will just have a quick little look at this 3rd, because you can see him really hitting the hopples, and he looks like a horse who's wanting to race. Just needs a bit of luck on his side. Hopped and skipped and jumped around at the start. Took a while to get into his gear, but I think Ashburton should sort him out. It's a big, big long track, and I think there won't be too many bloody people around him. It's going to be during the day. He should be a bit more calmer. There's a bit more room to maneuver, and I think he can pick the stand and hopefully just get straight onto the top of the group, the peloton, lead him and kick on the straight and just be too good for them. So you can see he's buried on the pegs here, and he looks like a horse who doesn't want to be there behind someone. He wants to be out dictating things. He was revved up on the trail. The head's in the air. He's really, having to hold on to him, Stephen. So he peels 3 wide and tries to ask him to go. There's a few rough steps on the top of the turn. He's sort of skipping about a bit, and Stephen whacks him on the bum, so trying to rev him up, and he sort of sticks to his tasks very nicely once he straightens up, and he runs home very nicely into a good 3rd behind Swaggerman, Bellissimo Acquisto, and Wheel of Fortune, who came out and won like a $1.40 shot. And there's a bit of industry sort of gossip about that horse, and it did win like a good one. So I think we can have a look here. We've got Forvu Gamble, who might be a bit of a threat. We do have a Colin DeFilippi and Julie DeFilippi first starter. They're always a little bit ones to watch. They always have them ready first up, and they can run a good race. We've got Cheeky Grin, who ran a good race on Tuesday night, and John Dunn does get the drive. So we all know what John Dunn is capable. But over the 2,400 meter stand, barrier 6 is a nice barrier. William G's Legacy can step beautifully, get to the top, and should be all she wrote. So I think that'll be a good each way bet. And then we move on to the very next race, race number 5. Anything goes. Look, I think it just wins. I think this is the best bet of the day. It is a junior drivers, but Devin Vantil works with Steve Dolan. Is always getting the drive, has driven this horse to its debut win. It's got brilliant gate speed, and we'll just have a look at the horses it ran in this listed race for the 4-year-olds geldings over the 1980 last start, and they ran home in 55.8, 28.6. Tommy Waterhouse won, and from barrier 1, Maddie Williamson manages to rev it up and hold its position on the leader's back. Very good gate speed, and enjoys a cushy run behind Tommy Waterhouse, who looks a very progressive type. And just in this race, we've got You Covered, we've got Heisenberg, Warlock, Serge Blanco, Samstown, Idealism, Henry Hubert, Sugar Me, Dance Time. We've got some unbelievable horses in this race, and Anything Goes is able to hold the leaders back throughout and then just watch them have a go on the straight. This is a very good run for a very limited started horse, and he's a young chap and he looks very progressive, and I think he should definitely be winning over the mile at Ashburton on Sunday with any luck. Should be taking the chocolates and away laughing, because you can look at that field that we just watched, and then we have a look here. We've got Sergeant Best, who was below par last start. We've got Better with Bling, who's been solid. Piraki Raptor over race last start, off the edge, no thank you. Rock and Roll Star, no thank you. Char Char B's been going good, but no thank you. Anything Goes is drawn inside him. Char Char B's been going good. He's the threat. We lead. It's a mile race. We stay there. We won. Anything Goes. Race number 5. Get on it. Race number 6. La Sabina. Carta del Getty. Well, I can't believe the price that horse got to on Sunday. And it was a terrific run. Terrible barrier draw. And it was like it was a bloody mid-Canterbury trial for Carter. He just did whatever he wanted. Did whatever he wanted. He worked his way around, dictated the speed, and led and won. So he goes out from the back row, finds the front, wrestles it off Backburn, and he just dictates like a good horse does. And we come to the top of the straight. He's traveling like an absolute G. Did a little bit of a hot skip and a jump there on the turn, but once it's straightened up, La Sabina, look at it hitting its hopples, and Carter's sitting there like a cheeky young man, and he can't believe his luck. He's got his absolute gem of a run there, and it's no one's really making any ground on it. It's not being called upon by Carter, and it's easy to the line. And that was a very nice price for La Sabina. And I think from barrier number 1 on Sunday, same sort of grade, same sort of horses, barrier 1, 2,400 meters, should be winning again, to be honest. Someone tell me who's going to be winning that race, because if you can convince me that it won't be La Sabina, good luck to you. And then we go to race number 8, which seems to be the feature race of the day, with a few of the good open class horses. Better Than Hope, who's been better than most of the horses in that race anyway, and been going very good races. You can see here we've got a third in behind Stella Arden. We've got first in behind he won first in front of Slockard Shard. That was a very nice one, actually, Banks Peninsula. It came wide on the turn and just rocketed home. Then it beat Piraki Raptor on the grass, and then it came out on the grit and showed it can knock it with some good horses, and was a great third in behind Jimmy Armour, Stack, and beat home Champagne and Wine, who's in this race as well. I think it even might be better handicapped as well. So Champagne and Wine and Better Than Hope are both off the 10 meters, but I think if it steps, it can find the top, it should be winning. And I've spoken for about 40 minutes, way too long. So I hope you could, gather any of the information. I hope I didn't talk too quick. I hope I gave you a bit of an insight of some of the runners for the weekend, and hopefully I find you a few winners and you can put a bit more dollars in your pockets and have a good weekend, guys. So hopefully you guys enjoyed, and leave a like on the video, give a comment on some of the ideas that I raised, or if you've got any tips for the boys, you can, leave a comment down below. And thanks for listening. Thanks for watching, and we will see you in the next episode. Thank you.